Let us purchase 2 first-class tickets, please, to Dubai.
Dubai.
We need to get to the Dubai Film Festival. We've got a short sub-doc about the plight of the Iraqi people who live in Beverly Hills.
Okay, well, I have one flight left out to Dubai.
All right, that's fine. We'll talk about what you're going to talk about.
Well, I was going to say,
I think it's better this way, personally,
is where every podcast sounds completely different.
where we just
audio-wise.
kind of come in to it and not necessarily, be like, this is the beginning. We don't need.
No, I think that's totally fair.
We'll just
He
kinda
did just
ease
start
into
this
it, and then
completely.
we
I
can
was
cut it
literally
all
having a
out.
comment about how we were just doing our big yelling fest before the recording to see how the audio was going to sound because the last time it didn't sound great.
Yeah.
And I was thinking we should put some markings on the what do you call that thing? That red box thing,
The interface.
the interface, to know where the audio should be set. But we're not going to do that. 'cause
Well,
you know what?
we won't know if it's good until the end
That's true.
because I'm not going to stop it and listen to it.
I understand that, but hopefully by the end of this, if you like,
If it looks good,
then you'll put some tape.
we're going to put marks on there. Tape.
Hey, cheers. Cheers,
Cheers.
brother.
Cheers, buddy.
I wonder if they can hear this. So let's see. Wait a minute.
Sound effects.
Okay. Oh, you hear the little pop sound? Yeah, they're not gonna hear it. It's not a Coke commercial. It's not a Coke commercial. Switch it up this time. The cost of my bourbon is getting significantly higher with every purchase. It started at $8.99 for Evan Williams, which their prices have gone up. They can afford commercials now, which I was very excited. I saw the commercial, like, oh my god, for a company that is the oldest distillery in Kentucky. At least
It
that's
is.
what
It's
their
probably
bottle
owned
says.
by Budweiser or some shit, though.
No, dude. Everything Budweiser touches gets bigger. Like, they market it.
And Evan Williams
It
is
ain't
not.
growing at all, dude. Whoever, they need to spend just a dime. Well, they are. They have a commercial now.
Yeah.
But for a company that's still in business, that has been around since 1887 or whatever, 1867, to still be like the cheapest bourbon in the aisle, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like, as a
Built on the backs of slaves. Just like all the companies.
probably.
It always kind of freaks me out when it says it's like ested and fucking like 18 something. I'm like,
Definitely had slaves. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you at least had some indentured servants and shit, or just bad business practices. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure any waste was going straight into the water supply for the
Yeah.
town.
Who knows?
Downriver.
Maybe Evan Williams is the reasons they created unions.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't read books. I don't
You
know
what?
none of this
and
shit.
you know what? We're about to tank their stock share because it finally went up for the first time in 227 years.
Really?
Because they got a commercial. No, I don't know. It's probably not public. But I'm just saying. Finally, they got a commercial, Kyle. They got a commercial,
Yeah.
and then you're bringing up
and you
skeletons out of the
you
closet.
show up with a bottle.
No, I didn't bring it. I was going to bring it, but then last time I brought Jack Daniels. I'm like, and that's a little bit more expensive than Evan
You're
Williams.
cheating on these motherfuckers.
And today I got
dude.
4 Roses, which is only $20 for a bottle. So I'm not going to be bringing $50 bottles here until our sponsors, unless someone wants to sponsor us.
Yeah, like
high-end
what was it?
bourbon.
Buffalo whiskey,
Buffalo Trace. That's actually
Buffalo
not too
Trace?
much. It's like 20,
Yeah.
$30 a
like
bottle.
$30,
Not too much.
or like some Knob Creek.
Yeah, I also consider that Whistle Pig. That's like $50 a
Whistle
bottle.
Pig?
I'll take some Whistle Pig.
I'm out of the fucking whiskey game.
Yeah, I mean, I only know that because I saw it 2 minutes before coming here.
I
2
got
rose
some
buttons.
weed. You want to know what it's called?
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Mango Elbow.
No.
What is it?
House weed.
Is that you just made it yourself?
No, it's just house weed.
It's
just
called house weed.
It's just their house weed.
So it's kind of like the house wine.
Yeah, and you know what? In this specific scenario, it's pretty good.
So it's like the Sutter home of weeds because I'm pretty sure.
But
that's,
here's the reason I'm bringing it up. It's good. It's better than the most name brand shit I've
you
been
know what
buying.
though? Sometimes again, maybe like if I get a house wine from a place, if you don't know what it is, like Robert Mondavi, right?
Who the fuck is that?
It's a winemaker. I mean, it's
gotcha.
humongous.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking
You would know it if you saw the branding.
Gotcha.
I can almost guarantee you they are a lot of people's house wine. And I get it. So sometimes it's cheaper. It's not the cheapest, but it's like the third cheapest.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good. And if you were to cover up all these labels with, I'm sure there's some expensive wines that I don't like, the taste of.
I'm sure
and
there's
probably
plenty.
some cheap ass wines that I love the taste of.
Let me just say this though. I think it's a complete fucking crock of shit.
I mean,
the
there's a
whole
little bit
the
to
whole
it.
wine thing, because there was this guy, and he made his own wine essentially, but he didn't grow grapes and do that and have it bottled, sit in a bottle for 50 years. He basically just bullshitted these people, put some dirt and shit in it or whatever the fuck he did, and he sold it as this fine wine, aged fine wine, and it was just complete bullshit, and they ate it the fuck up.
Oh, that's not surprising me. What is it? They say that the Costco vodka is the exact same thing as Ciroc. It's literally the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's definitely because Costco doesn't have the Costco fucking wineries.
No, they're just buying it.
There's
bulk.
Costco's vineyards right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you see all these other beers. Anything that goes through a blind taste testing and it blows everyone's socks off.
Yeah.
Maybe the blind taste testing. The whole purpose behind that is to remove bias from the testing. So, when you put shit like that in front of people, and they have no idea what's expensive and what's not, and you bullshit people, and you put them to the test. It's like, there are some things you can tell the difference. Like, I've done a Scotch flight before.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the prices of these shots, but there was like 4 or 5.
Sure.
And the only difference between them that I was shown was just the year. It was like 8-year, 10-year, 14-year, 16-year, something like that. And the last 3 get kind of, get a little mix and match, but the difference between the first one and like the later ones, it was noticeable. Like, in terms of being how smooth it is.
Slightly noticeable. I mean, let's be real.
Well, it's
though.
also
I mean,
noticeable because I'm tasting them back to back. If someone wishes to give me a glass of the 6-year-old, I'd probably be like, it's good. It's good. It's not too often that I have a glass of bourbon and I'm like, that's dog shit, and I can't drink it. Once in my life, I've done that, and it was the Sam's Club. What's it when they mix it? Like 50-50, it's like a whiskey bourbon blend or something. It's like a whiskey bourbon.
I've
blend.
never even seen that. Before.
Yeah,
I know they do it with wine.
I can't remember what it's called, but that is the only time I've ever gotten a bottle of bourbon / whiskey and been unable to drink it. Yeah. So that was horrible.
I mean, here's the thing about that shit, though. It's not how good it is. It's basically I'm buying a thing that there's not a lot of, or I'm buying
Scarcity,
a thing
baby.
that a lot of people can't have. I mean, or find. You know what I mean? That's what it is. To me, the flavor thing, okay, that's a part of it, but it's about having something that not that many people have.
No, it's totally
or
true.
It's having something rare. Because I mean, I've had the when your buddy broke out the whiskey, and this is like a $5,000 bottle compared to, I think what I liked the most was one of the
middle of the road
ones,
which in that house is like $60.
Yeah.
Right per bottle, which I never buy.
Now, granted, my palate isn't attuned to it, I guess, which to me is, I think, part of the fucking farce too. I mean, it's just
because after you have a glass, you can't taste the difference anyways. Like the subtleties. And I remember when I went to Napa, I learned the same thing. There's like 2 different wineries. They had mentioned the same thing. They're like, the people who work there, right? The ones who are doing the tastings. They're not sommeliers, but they're whatever the people who were just doing the tastings. For our group, they said it's like none of us drink this wine.
Tasting captain.
I like that. Yes, tasting captain. She's like, none of us drink this wine. She's like, we drink $5 bottles of wine. She said the differences between these wines is wasted on you after you're halfway through your first glass. The subtleties are gone, and then you lose the ability. Your palate loses the ability to recognize the difference between a good wine. Maybe you could still taste.
And
really
that because
shitty
when
wine.
you watch people taste the fucking wine,
they spit it out.
They spit it out, and they get a palate
that looks
refresher.
like fun.
And,
huh? You want to go
I don't
spit some
wanna
wine out this weekend?
No,
fuck you.
And honestly, it's disgusting. I see all these fucking old rich white people going,
actually spit their old teeth out into their dentures.
Yeah, I know, right? My molar fell out.
Have you been to wine tasting?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Really? Well, I've never seen someone actually spit in those things, but they're there. They're sitting there on the counter. It's not like
Is
you
there
get
a
your
name
own
for it?
spit jar.
Your spit craft?
No, but it's not yours. It's the spit jar or the communal. There's probably a couple.
spittoon?
It's like, who's putting their fucking lips to that thing? And like, how are you? I mean, I'm not that confident in my spitting abilities to where I know if I want to get 100% of my spit into that little carafe, I got to go almost lips to hole.
And let's be honest, if you got a beard and a mustache, that shit's getting all up in your face. And you're going to be smelling it a couple hours afterwards.
Yeah.
So no, I never done any of that. I did a little beer tasting type thing.
Yeah, I've done beer tasting.
Like we went to Ojai. Ojai's,
You did a beer tasting in Ojai?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they
I
had
didn't do the
breweries.
fucking wine.
Oh, there's a made Topa Topa up there. Is that what you went to?
Topa Topa.
Topa Topa
What's that?
brewery. It's a brewery that started, I believe, in Santa Barbara. They had a big one that opened up in Ventura, and then they opened one up in Ojai.
I don't know. I don't know if it was Topa Topa.
Well, I just know they have wineries up there. I didn't know
Yeah.
that's the only brewery. I'm
Dude,
aware
they
of.
even have olive oil fucking tasting
yeah,
rooms
you know what?
and
That's
shit.
I've seen that. It never really gets me. It's never
Just
got me
get-
to the door ever. I've seen them like that's interesting.
If you put some like fucking weed in it, though, I mean, entice me with your olive oil.
well,
are
if
you gonna
I-
make me something with the olive oil, or am I just gonna just sit there and sipping on oil?
That needs to be one of those things.
You know what I mean?
The only way that I would ever get engaged in that, not that I'm not down, right? The
Yeah.
idea of it, I'm like, I'm open to it. I'm 100% open to it. But I'm not, it's almost like a Klondike bar. What would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for an olive tasting? I wouldn't even cross the street. I wouldn't open your door. That's what I would do for
If I
olive
lived
tasting.
across the street, eventually I'd make it over there.
It would have to be so convenient for me. It would have to be like, when you walk by some stores, like a pretzel
Like
shop.
you could accidentally stumble out your front door and I'm in the
Yeah.
olive fucking tasting
No, or
room.
like you're walking somewhere and
Yeah.
they have the the lady, they're trying to get you to buy the actual item, so they'll have the little sampler.
Yeah.
Like the pretzel shop at the mall,
Yeah.
they'll be giving out the little cinnamon pretzel samples.
You walk by like 4 or 5
Every once in a
times.
while, that will get me. A couple
Yeah.
of times in my life, I've gone and bought the thing. So if someone somewhere had little mini olive taster shooters,
Yeah.
I would do it, and then I would see the light.
It's got to be some good ass olive oil.
What do you even have to come? What am I expecting? To drink olive oil?
Because here's the thing, I cook with olive oil.
Yeah. What?
And I'm not. I never have just tasted it by itself.
No. When do you dip bread in olive oil? Like,
Oh, that's true. I
Italian
do that.
restaurants.
Yeah,
But
Italian
that's
restaurant.
about it.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the most basic olive oil, like for the most part.
I think there's a reason why there's not a lot of olive oil tasting rooms.
Yeah, because they're stupid.
Because it's fucking stupid. These motherfuckers ain't making a lot of money. I'm putting it out
No,
there. That tasting room is small.
I know, yeah. I know someone who went. I can't remember who it was, but I mean, they get like weird with the flavors, right? It's not just like olive oil with basil and olive oil with
That's probably
whatever.
what it is.
It's-
It's like,
it gets
it's
really
infused
creative.
with whatever the fuck we threw in it.
yeah, like jalapeno ones.
Yeah. We
And I'm
put
like,
some
you know
dead
what?
lizards in there.
I get it. Like, I get it if you like to cook a lot and you're like, what's another way to add flavor? It's just, well, shit. Just if you're cooking something in olive oil, what if your olive oil had
Garlic
like
in
12 spices in it, you
Yeah.
know, and that was your spice, was olive oil. So like,
Sure. Well, do you remember those like jars you could buy like, I don't know, everywhere, just full
Yeah.
of olive oil and all types of
and a
shit?
bunch of weird shit floating to the bottom. Yeah.
And your mom would like have it on the fucking like top shelf or top
Yeah, next to the
cabinets.
Hennessy
And
and like
it's
in the flour.
it's been sitting there for 22
Yeah.
fucking years.
That's true.
Everybody looks up at it and be like, I wonder if it's still good.
You know what though? If I had seen that now, I'd be like, oh, maybe I could cook with that. But back in the day when I used to see stuff like that, I'm like, what in God's
I was
name
like,
am I going
old
to do
people
that?
shit.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with it.
No, I wouldn't even know where to
A
start. using
dusty
something
ass
like that.
fucking like, I don't know, it looks like it belongs in a laboratory.
Yeah, it's like
Not
it's
a
almost like-
laboratory, a laboratory.
It's kind of like the embalming. Is that what it is when you go to and they have like the body parts and like the dead babies in like the jars?
Yeah, it's in
whatever that liquid is.
formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. Yeah, I went to a museum in London and they had, and it was what was I in? But it had like a bunch of oddities like that, like a bunch of dead babies in this, and that's weird to see because they'd show them from like a week old all the way to like 9 months old.
Like what constitutes a bunch?
At least a dozen.
Wow,
That's a lot of dead babies in one room, by the way.
Yeah, I'd be
that
like,
I can look at.
I
Like,
want to
that's-
talk to the owner of this place.
That was the only thing, but then they
or
had
I don't
like,
want to talk to the
they
owner.
had
of this
all
place.
the other stuff like skulls and parts of bodies, and
Yeah,
the medical world, they can do some weird shit. My buddy who's a surgeon, he's cut open a lot of people, dead people, like a lot of dead people.
yeah.
It's just like, and you have to do it, right? And back in the day, when they wanted to do this research, sometimes I'm sure they would get people donating their body to science. But I'm sure a lot of these people were, honestly, they're probably like poor people, like grave robbers, giving away to the medical industry, or maybe slaves. Honestly, probably dead slaves being given over to the medical industry, or just poor ass kids or people murdering people and selling their very barely cold
Who is
bodies.
that? There's
for
that
money.
documentary on Netflix about that one serial killer. Like he killed like more people than anybody.
Was it? It was Jack the Ripper.
But he was no. He was a doctor, and he had this house basically, and they ended up finding like, I don't know, we'll just say 30 dead bodies under this motherfucking place, and that's what he was doing. He was practicing.
You know what's crazy?
That's how
though?
they learn
that
that
kind of dark, horrible shit. Has probably progressed the medical industry like,
Absolutely.
significantly.
Yeah.
It's like the crazy shit that
That's why we need these like arrogant sociopathic motherfuckers to figure
teetering
out
on
this
evil,
shit.
teetering
Yeah.
on evil, because like we need like the evil geniuses too.
Stem cells, dude. I'm sure that shit was founded by an evil genius.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to dip
CRISPR,
I'm not going to
evil
dip my
genius.
foot in that, but like I'm going to be at the end of the the line,
Yeah.
reaping the
He's
rewards
like-
as the rest of us are.
He's like, can I have that dead baby?
Yeah. Because you got to guess, right? Like, who's the first person to guess that, it was umbilical cord, but it was also like fetus. Like, it wasn't just the umbilical cord, right? It was also
placenta.
like the spinal and all different parts of the fetus that you could get stem cells from.
Yes,
I know
yes.
they found more places to access it, I guess, now without it having to be a dead baby. Like, that was the big fight against
Yes,
it. It's like,
yeah.
So now there's ways to get it that aren't that. But it's the first guess.
Which
like
is lies.
They
It's
just had to
probably
get
still
the
been
baby, and
Still
try it
killing
out,
babies.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I support, by the way, because
Stem cells?
dead babies. Because you got to figure, look, with any other population, overgrowing population, what do? They go, okay, you need to go out and fucking kill, these deers or like these boa constrictors in Florida and
Yeah.
shit like that, because it's a goddamn problem and they're wreaking havoc on the fucking environment and local ecosystem.
See, if I had
aborted babies are like the closest we can come to this.
You see, I would go on the
Or a
side of-
pandemic.
if I had to vote on either killing babies, abortions, or like if we're looking for the health of society, babies have not yet negatively impacted society, right? The possibility of a baby being successful and coming up with something is there. Whereas there's a bunch of useless shitheads alive now
Oh, I
that
see,
are
I
providing
see.
that we know are providing nothing
Yeah.
in our shitheads. And I'm like,
But I'm kind of going of trying to avert the genocide thing.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, if it was like, it's almost like a gamble, right? It's like
This is Ryan's crack at getting rid of billions of people. Let's see. I wanna
Yeah,
hear it.
no, and
Let's
if we
do it.
had a guess, it sounded like is a bird in the hand worth two in the bush, So the bird in the hand is the shitty bum who poops and throws poop at your house. Not that
Okay.
that happens often.
Okay.
The horrible, the sex offenders. I'm going with the really.
I'm hearing
easy,
bird in the hand and
these
two
are-
in the bush, and I was like,
no,
what?
these are the low hanging fruit. All right, pedophiles. All these
Gotcha.
kind of people, just real
Yes.
easy, boom, knock them off,
Knock 'em off.
knock them right
How
off.
do we knock
or
them
a
off?
baby, which it provides zero early on, but
Mm-hmm.
there's at least potential. But there's also the potential for being a shithead.
But what if it's a Republican?
I think that you should give them baby a chance. Give it a chance.
I'm just saying, man. You can't. All these babies are being born Republican, and I don't support it, man.
I don't think that that's the case at all.
No.
I think it's pretty much depends on where you're from and maybe some genetics.
Okay.
I think some genetics are involved there too. It's a little 50-50,
Yeah.
maybe a little less than. I don't know.
There's definitely something.
Yeah.
There's definitely something. Yeah. I can,
But,
seem a little touched.
Republicans seem touched. What the fuck? A lot of really wonderful Republicans and wonderful Democrats. I also know some absolutely moronic, senseless people who stand on both sides, who equally seem uneducated in their vastly different views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so yeah, I know. I'm picturing them clearly in my head. There's
You
those
also
three
support
here.
random public executions, as you just stated.
No, I was just basing this off of you saying you're going to kill babies. I'm saying, like, well, if I had to stand on the side of abortions, or like if it was for the purpose of lessening the population, that's what I'm saying. If it was, if our goal was to lower the population, I would say going after the youth is not the idea. It's going after, sadly, the elderly or the bums. Who's a bigger asshole?
The fucking bums. Oh, Jesus.
I'm saying
That's
if
so
if the goal-
Republican of you.
it is true, isn't that a little bit?
It is.
If that was the goal,
Yeah.
to lower the population. But then again, the population issue, it's like, if we think about like using up resources, right? A lot of that, if you go to like a lot of other countries, it's not subsistence living. That's not the right term. But like, they don't consume that much more than they need. a lot of other countries. Here, I mean, we shock the world, man. It's like known, right? You take people from other countries and they go to a Walmart, they shit themselves. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? Or our grocery
Oh, yeah.
stores, or our fridges.
Yeah,
Just
we
the fact
want
that we have
it.
a big
We
ass
want
fridge.
it now. I don't need one of them. I need 12
Yeah,
of them.
no, that's an
That's
us,
the American
that's an
way.
us thing. The overconsumption of everything. You know, you go to you go to Europe, their fridges are really, really tiny.
Yeah.
You know, they have enough for like the little things, and they go to the store to buy basically the main item for all their meals. They go there to get their meats for the day, their veggies for the day, and in there is like the milk and a couple other items. Here we have like our freezer and our garage fridge and freezer are
Yeah.
full. Okay, I don't know a person that doesn't have both, who has a garage, who doesn't have a garage fridge and freezer full. By the way,
Yes.
that's a U.S. thing.
If I had a fucking garage, I'd have one of those big, huge freezers.
Yeah.
You know, with like a whole elk in the motherfucker.
Well, dude, and that's just it. You think of a lot of the, overseas, the over mining of stuff, and the over maybe, at least in California with, the drought coming from a lot of the farmers having to use so much water to grow shit to supply. We need that obviously, but like, and even in overseas, a lot of that shit is coming over here.
Yeah.
So if you really want to save the world, I love America, right? I love the U.S., but if you want to save the future of humanity, in terms of like sustaining ourselves through like natural resources, probably gotta just destroy all of America, or at least
we're not the only thing. I mean, well, I guess so, because then if they're not having to
We're a lot of
feed
people. I'm thinking
the American hungry hearts with the factories overseas, maybe
Yeah.
their air pollution wouldn't be so bad.
It's possible.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? To be,
But you got to think, we're just 300 million people.
yeah.
So that's
I'm not advocating for this, by the way.
So I mean,
that I have
you
any-
can't say that this shit's going down just because of the
Look,
Americans.
I'm not saying this is our fault in the sense of like,
I think that's your USA centric mind.
No, this is-
thinking from that way.
no. All right, like in China, for example, like I truly believe like a lot of the production that goes on it's not just for us, by the way. Their shit goes all over the world.
Yeah.
Granted, right? It goes all over the world, but a lot of it comes to us, and it's
sure.
like, what would their society be like if they had to have all the shit? Let's just say all the countries. This would really hurt a lot of countries who don't have the resources to make certain things. Like, there's certain like precious metals you have to go to the countries that have them.
Sure.
But let's just say, just a fun little game. If every country had to be isolated and only survive off themselves, what would those countries look like? China. They have. It's not like India where it's a what's it called? Where it's like a tier. Everyone's kind of born in their station, and that's how they have to live their entire lives. Whatever. Really? No, it's so in India, if you're born that is, you were born into your station, that is what you are. There's no
Yeah.
up or down. That is how it is. You can marry in a different position.
Are you talking about like communism?
No, it's not communism. Oh, fuck it, whatever. Someone, again, one of the 11 is yelling at us and calling us idiots right now. But in China, it's probably not that much different, one, because it's a communist government and there's corruption.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so if they could not make money sending shit overseas, if the only money those people could make is selling to
within
their
China.
own people, they would have to increase the wages of their people because they're not able to sell it overseas.
because you're only being
The only
absolutely.
people who can buy your shit are the people who live there. So they have to make enough money to buy your things. You have to price your things at a point for your consumers, which is now your population, the Chinese people. So it's like, I'd be curious to see if that would lift the average
think it would
person and
I think it
bring
would
down
lift.
the wealthy.
I think it would absolutely lift it because, to be honest with you, I mean, that is the problem we're facing now, is this kind of worldwide economy that is going to be ran by a few, which, I mean, it basically
is.
is Amazon and what other big, Asian companies and shit that
Yeah,
are doing that
Alibaba.
type of shit over there. So it's just going to be a few people.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be, bound to the laws of any country.
Well, that's just it. It's like, we think, like, oh, there's rules.
They'll be more powerful and they are more powerful
Yeah, they
than
just
countries.
are. Yeah, well, that's just it. Not only that, but like in China, for example, they don't have the rules that we have here, right? And we bitch about that corporations have too much free reign and too much power here. But in China, these companies are like subsidized by the government, so they'll take losses on their shit to sell to beat out American companies.
Absolutely.
Because the government subsidizes them so they can make money. That is literally why you cannot compete with the
Yeah,
Chinese.
I
prices.
mean, they're the whole economy and all the businesses are their puppets.
Yeah, there was a documentary that I was turn on to. I think it's called.
By the way, I don't know shit about shit. By the way, I just read some headlines on
you're
on my phone.
But isn't
You
the
know,
whole point of this podcast for two people who don't know what they're talking about to ramble a little
yeah,
bit?
I just sometimes I feel like to interject and be like, I don't know shit.
No, but like, no, I think that was enough on that. I think again, none of this is going to happen. It's just like a little fun game, right? It's just what if America the only. By the way, we actually, for the most part, have all the resources we need to build all the shit that we have. Like, if we want to do a little game in America for like 50 years and be like, all right, just to see, let's see if we can't have everything from here. And I brought this up with you once. Like, you think that if you were to poll every American, let's just say you got to win this by 65%. It's not a 50 point, it's not 50% plus 1%. It's 65% of the population has to agree to this. Everything in America has to be made here. But everything's going to be 35% more expensive. Or 40% more expensive. Everything. You think people would sign on for that? Honestly?
Well, that's only based on the promise that your wages are going to go up a lot.
It's not guaranteed. So that's not part of the equation. You could think that it will.
But here's
you
the
would
thing.
assume that it will.
The only point to do that is to invest in businesses, local businesses here.
Well, it would 100%
and you would
create more jobs.
And it would
without a
create
doubt.
more jobs, which should create a better market for jobs, should create higher pay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just homeless, and these people are.
But that's just it. If you run a corporation, why do they give a shit? Why would they care? They don't. Technically, it is. There's like the business ethics where there is a responsibility on the business to be ethical. And what does that mean? Some people say business ethics only means looking out in the best interest of your business.
Yeah, because
Some
of
people say it's
laws
a
and
worldly
regulations
ethics.
and things that
But if it's not a
have
law,
been established.
what do they really give a shit?
They
And even
don't.
during like
That's why you're Jeff Bezos pays I don't know like 50 cents in taxes or some shit.
yeah, well, I'm cynical, man. Even whenever there's a big social cause and I see all these companies get behind it, I'm like, I don't believe you for a second.
No,
it's just you're seeing the pendulum shift, and you're like, oh shit, I want to get ahead of this. Like for what was it?
It's bullshit.
What's the gay holiday? It's not a holiday, but it's like when everybody's wearing rainbows. Is there a week? Do the gays have a week? Give them a week, a month. Gay Pride.
I think
month? Is it Gay Pride month?
I think there's probably a Pride Month.
There is a Pride something, because I know, because you could see a ton of companies.
and there's plenty of days.
Yeah. Well, they're all
that
sporting
represent
the rainbow,
those communities.
The rainbow, which is cool. But I'm
Yes.
like
Google
really
will do
believe it?
it,
Do you
or you
really
might
do it?
see it on your
You will
the
see it
app
on
on
the
your
Google
TV,
site, yeah.
which I think is good.
I hope it's real, but I just find myself being cynical because I'm just like, every move a corporation does is calculated, and they're like, all right, what's going to improve?
On the same, so if they're trying to basically say win over the population so they can sell more shit, but if they're still, regardless of the motive, if they're still going to do good with that money, then who gives
No, that's a good
shit?
point. No, but isn't that the
But I mean, it's just it's pennies to these motherfuckers. It's
Yeah.
like Jeff Bezos again. It's like that son of a I don't know, like I can't remember exactly what it is. So I'm just gonna spew out some
Means is
bullshit.
worth the end,
But it was like
you're saying?
$500,000 to the
The end is
NAACP or something along those lines. But it's just like that motherfucker makes $500,000 in
2
in
seconds.
5 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It's like, do you care if they mean it? If they just do it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
I do.
so you can call people, and I think it's good if you feel like that's bullshit, and you want to call them out and how on their honesty about it. But
Yeah.
for one, it's your right to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do anything, and they will get praise from some people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if that money actually goes and helps people or helps this underprivileged group or
Yeah.
whatever, that's great.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't think I have ever or would change my buying habits because a company changes their social stances on a thing to support a company. Maybe if they go against something,
I think you're looking
horrific.
at it wrong because
I'm
you're
looking
looking
from a
at their
selfish point of view,
well, you're looking at it from like I'm watching an advertisement and
Yeah.
it's going to be that advertisement this is going to be the one advertisement for our company that's going to change everybody's mind. But it's not that because they can bombard you with these it's almost like subconscious. So things will just kind of automatically align, where you might not think to yourself and be like, they support LGBTQ plus A, communities. And that aligns with so I'm going to buy it. But I think it's just people, it's more subconscious. They'll hear that thing about the company that registers to them.
And so,
then they'll hear another thing, how the, owner of the company loves his, Labrador puppies, and you have Labrador puppies.
That's a good point.
It's just a buildup.
And so maybe at some point, the company's brought up, you're like, that's a good company. They care. Like maybe like it kind of gets embedded. It's basically Inception.
How many people before Amazon, we'll just say Amazon was being done, about 50% of the people were doing it. Because now 100% of people fucking do it seems.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But like when it was 50, you had a bunch of people going, oh, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to do it. But eventually, they all start buying from Amazon, Even people
so
you
much
never
better.
thought would, like my mother,
That's a good point. That's like my mom. She claims to be completely ignorant when it comes to technology, but somehow I get an alert every day that she buys something on Amazon. I'm like, that's not, it's a little,
it makes
it's a
you
little
happy.
complicated. No.
Because it's so easy. It's just like, oh,
They make it too easy to buy. Yeah.
oops, I bought it.
Slid twice. Yeah.
Yeah, but the advertising, it's like they just beat you down. It's like it's just attrition. It's just little pieces.
Hey man, there's a reason that marketing is as a business major, there's like the top two peak jobs to get as a business major, and you choose like a piece of, you don't just get business unless you're an idiot like me. You get business management, which has no special abilities. Business manager. No, it's like typically you want to specialize accounting, marketing, finance, something that is a clear skill set that can be used. Marketing, always top two.
Pacifics.
Always top two. Half of Jamie's family in marketing, and you make a lot of money in marketing. There's a reason you make a lot of money in marketing, because it works. Because it works, dude.
It does work.
And again, it's like you're saying, it's not that you see an advertisement and you're like, again, that's happened to me like twice in the past 2 years where I've seen an advertisement and immediately went and acted upon it. But for the most part, it's just, it just saturates your brain with thinking a certain way, and over time, you don't even realize it, but
at
you're just
Amazon get me because
vomiting it
I'll be
back
on
up.
Google, and then they have like this little like Amazon box of the shit you looked at, and it reminds you, be like, oh, yeah. I click on it and be like, oh, the price went down $1.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie.
$1 might be that little bit.
Jamie's learned about that. Like if you, with certain emails, and Matt does it too, that if you just ignore it, they'll send you an email saying like, hey, here, get it for a little bit less. And if you keep doing that a few times, then normally they'll eventually hit you with like the super deal.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So they both play.
We're going to give you $25 off.
Yeah.
Be like, $25? That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit of incentive sometimes, because I do that a lot. I'm like in between. I'm like, should I buy it? And I sit there, battle and justify it to myself, and be like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'll be like, you know what? It's gonna make me happy, and you know what this life's about? Making me happy.
You know what I never do? Make the purchase. I have so many things in my Amazon thing that I'm
shopping
like, oh, I really need this.
Save for later.
And I click on it, I look at it, and
why the fuck do I want that?
Really come up with an argument.
What is it? What's the top of your list right now?
I have like quite a few books. I have shit around the house.
What's the weirdest fucking thing you got on your list right now? Tell me.
I have no idea. Probably.
This brings me to my next segment.
What?
Butt vibrators. Do you own one?
No.
No?
I do not have a butt
Me
vibrator.
neither.
I feel like you would just use your toothbrush.
A plug.
Your electric toothbrush. It's the same thing. Just don't use the bristle end, and you're fine.
That's
and
true.
You got to be careful if the bottom is a twist off where the batteries go in, because you don't want to be twisting that around.
It's a
and you lose-
dildo. It's a butt plug.
Yeah.
And it's a toothbrush? Yeah. Brush your teeth first.
Yeah. Or not. Depends how freaky you are.
If you want your breath to smell like shit.
No, I did want to bring something up with you, though. So, my day started off today completely neutral. It was in the gray. Could have gone up or down, right? Unexpected. I had to go to work today, and Skipper here,
Captain Skip.
who's sleeping in here with us, he always does. I was like, you know what? Before I go, just to give Jamie, as she's working, a more relaxing work environment. So I try and tire him out. I bring him to a little itty patch of grass near my place, and I throw the ball. We get there. First off, he's bitching and growling and barking at everybody. So he's in a mood immediately. Which I'm like, whatever.
He's always like that.
Yeah, but like it was super, intense this morning. So we get to the little park, and I grab the ball and I throw it all the way across the grass. He runs and gets it, and out of my peripheral, I see this old man coming down the steps behind me, and he comes down and he turns a corner, like he turns a corner and leaves, like he's out of sight. And Skipper's just beelining it across the lawn with the ball in his mouth, and he jumps up on the thing, and he never does this. Normally, if they're not in the grass, he just stands there. He went around the corner after this guy. Ran towards him, howling, barking. So the old man's freaking this guy out, right? His Skipper's back hairs are straight up, and I'm trying to go grab him, and Skipper won't let me get him. He's backing up into the street as the cars are coming by, like they're about to hit him. And this guy was so mad at me. Like, he didn't say anything, but he gave me just mean mugging hard. Only the kind of looking 80-year-old man who's seen war can give you. And so I picked his ass up, and I carried him all the way back to find the ball, and I carried him all the way in the house and left him there. And, of course, like when I initially grabbed him, I spanked him, and I flicked his nose. And then as I'm walking back in the house, I'm like, how many minutes has it been? Because I'm told that dogs have no memory, that they have an inability. You can't punish them after the fact, right? It has to be in the moment because they have short-term memory. And I'm like, whoever's talk about marketing, the marketing and PR behind dogs should get a raise. Like, they should either get the Nobel Peace Prize or like the Kids' Choice Awards, because it's bullshit. Because then I hear,
to me, it's like that's like the easiest advertising shit. It's just like, make them feel guilty, make them do this, make them feel like everybody's fucking, they're getting this dog. Oh, that's got these, like, that ain't dog food. Our first ingredient's chicken. That type of shit.
That's what I'm talking about. And not only that, but like they say, a dog they can't remember. If you punish a dog, like within a couple minutes after their
Doesn't
bad
know
act,
what
they
the
don't
fuck-
understand it.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but then why is it that you hear about these dogs? Like, what's the one in China who waits every day at the train for its owner to come home? Because that was where he would always wait for his owner. He does, or the dogs who like are lost across the country and find their way home.
But
or
that's
him. He'll hide a bone somewhere, and then like a week later, he'll know exactly where it is and go find it. So like, this is selective memory. What if I told Jamie that the only memories I could ever have were positive memories, and I was only able to learn from my bad behavior with positive reinforcement? And if you use negative reinforcement on me, I'll just forget, and it's abusive. It's bullshit. Jesus, dude. This ruined my morning.
You need fucking therapy, dude. Jesus.
Seriously, it's ridiculous.
Sometimes people need negative reinforcement.
Yeah, dogs too.
Dogs
and
too.
I really think he knows what he did this morning. Still, right now.
Okay. Like, I thought this was applying to you and
No.
not the dog for a second.
No, this is definitely a Skipper thing. I'm just saying
just the dog.
that if
the way
I was to be,
you were saying it, I was like, my friend's going through a situation,
No, but if I was to, propose that is how I had to learn from all my mistakes, that's ridiculous. You can't hit me. I don't remember what I did. Can't remember what I did. Can't remember. But every time I do something good, oh, you said I love you this morning. Here's a chocolate, Or you woke up and you gave me, you made breakfast this morning. Here's a chocolate.
Yeah, but there's also a thing where, like a child, violence, produces violence.
That's true, but isn't there like a happy medium, or even like not even a
think
medium,
so.
but like below medium?
I
like
think
low
so.
Medium?
No, I think
you can't tell me that
you have to show that kid that something's not okay to do.
Yeah,
and if it's really dangerous,
you
gotta.
I mean,
how do you don't necessarily gotta punch your kid in the face.
No,
okay?
but you know what? Sometimes I could tell you this is how I've learned almost everything in my life, which has caused a lot of problems in my life, is learning things the hard way. And I don't make that mistake again. And I think sometimes you let your kid learn the hard way. Like if you see them about to do something and it's not going to kill
Depends on what that is.
No, I know.
Like if they're about to stick the butter knife in the light socket, be like,
that's so funny. That's so funny you say that.
Yeah.
So Brandon, it's one of my. It's a testament to just this one moment, and it just happens to be what I agree with.
whose parent is this?
It's Brandon's parents.
Yeah.
So
You're bad parents.
He went to go stick a paper clip in a light socket.
Yeah.
And his mom ran over, started yelling, "No, you can't do that! You can't do that! You're gonna get hurt!" All these things. And so obviously he didn't. He was about to do it again. His mom came running over. "No, you can't do that!" And his dad stopped her. He said, "He'll only do it once." Brandon stuck that thing in the light socket. Obviously freaked out. Never did it again. Never had to be told either, because he knew. Because it's like when someone tells you not to do something or that it's not good, you're like, I don't agree with everything you say.
Especially the first time you get
What if
shocked.
I might like it, you know?
That's a goddamn surprise. You're like, ah!
I did that one time. Never done it since. I mean,
Dude, remember I told you I was in that dude's attic and I cut the wrong wire, man. I cut the red wire and that shit shocked me like a motherfucker and blew a hole in my
your scissors.
my scissors.
Yeah, how scared are you now to cut any cable in the attic? You quadruple check that bitch.
I don't fucking cut that shit. I leave it right fucking there. I don't cut it. I'm not doing that dumb shit anymore.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. And it's like, you know what's so funny? I'll read articles. I read one recently. It was
Safety through laziness.
Sure. You just didn't want to experience that again. I don't know. It's just like, you know, I got hit a little bit as a kid. Nothing like what you hear like in the old days, right? Like I got spanked. I got hit. I got hit with a
Yeah, I got
spatula.
spanked. I never
My mom
got
has zero memory of
You
any
just
of this.
got to let the kid know you don't need to hurt them.
No. And sometimes it's the fear of it. Again, sometimes it's just honestly, and I think it's also knowing your kids, right? Your kids learn things in different ways.
Like
Again,
buy
this
a
is coming from two
gerbil,
non-parents.
buy a gerbil, and just have that for the kid, and just knowing that you're going to kill this gerbil. And whenever that kid fucks up, you go grab that gerbil and just twist its fucking neck.
Oh my god!
And then you look at him and just drop it on the fucking floor. Like, that's what happens when you fuck up.
Again, we are both not parents, obviously.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have that's close to a child, which is a dog, is abusive and bites people. So we're not ready for kids.
There's like 25 dead gerbils in the backyard.
He's just not learning. Get more gerbils.
Yeah, I think he likes just killing the gerbils now.
I know. I sent Jamie an article recently on. I always read any article that talks about this is the way to raise your child because I find it interesting. Because it's always from like a group of psychologists. And this one in particular, immediately I sent it to Jamie because I'm like, oh, it's probably going to be pretty good, informative at least. And I was reading it, and I had already sent it to Jamie. And halfway through, I remember like audibly being like, "Fuck you, man." This article, it was basically, and I could find it because I sent it to Jamie. A lot of it was like. It was almost like it was a constant negotiation with your child. A constant negotiation, not seeking understanding, but a negotiation because your kid, it was all like this, it felt like it was coming from a position of fear that if you do anything to upset your child and to not fully understand their feelings, that they're going to just be fucked up. And I'm like, okay, to a degree, but it literally, no matter what the circumstance was, it's like, look, tell me how you feel. I can understand all these things. And I'm like, again, to a degree.
But here's the thing, is you're not supposed to read that and get offended by it. And that's also written for probably people that are looking for that type of material. Like, have a fucked up family. Or are they're really worried about it. And I think that stuff's actually true. And it's you're almost taking it like it's a shot at you. You're like, I shouldn't have to do that. Why you ask me to do that? I should. What? You know, it's like,
well,
you're
maybe.
defensive. You're defensive about it.
I could have been being defensive, but I just thought it was bullshit. And I'm like,
It's probably not. I mean, I really think, you know,
I read an article.
I read
an article 2 days later from another group of psychologists that was like, it wasn't the opposite, but it was like pretty hard in a different direction.
Yeah.
And it was still not complete. Like I agreed with more of it. So obviously I read the whole bloody thing, right? I'm willing, and I agree with some of it. I agree with some of it, but some of it to me was just outrageous.
Yeah.
And it was just like if all parents started to do this, we would just have I don't know. It's like bitchy parents. It's a bunch of bitchy. You know what I had? Not me. Maybe like maybe Connor's generation had bitchy parents. Just your kid is just Hosanna, he flies on high. That's what kids were. Okay? No mistakes. That's the generation kids were named fabulous and precious and perfect. And they want to bring it back. Don't do it. Didn't we learn from our mistakes? There isn't not everyone gets an award, and I understand people went hard with that for a while, but like there's legitimacy to that. You know,
yeah,
that idea.
I think so. I think so too. I think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to. It's good to let your kid hurt themselves and not be a helicopter parent and do those type of things.
But
like,
then
again,
supportive.
I am not a father, and I do not have kids.
Don't take advice from us. Neither of us have kids, and I've not abused my son, my dog, Jesus.
Yeah. But, you know, I think people should pay attention more to their kids. And I think people are so quick to just kind of like blow off what their kids are saying or what their kids' feelings are. And I think there's a lot of parents that really don't listen. And I think there's a fucking problem with that. Parents that just don't truly try to understand, you know, where the kid is coming from and validate their fucking crazy feelings because they've, hormones are going crazy. And let's be honest, most adults don't like fucking kids or teenagers. The people I talk to, teenagers are like the most hated group, right? Because I think all the adults walk by them and just like, ugh, like there's so much contempt for these little fuckers, right?
It's because they're...
And you look at him, you're like, you stupid little, you don't even understand, you stupid piece of shit. But I think adults really, like I talked about this, like people are just scared of young people.
Yeah.
So it's like this fear and this contempt, that people have for young people. I think it's good for parents to actually listen to their kids.
No, I do agree
and
with
treat
you.
their feelings like they're real.
I'm not saying that should not be the case. And this article took it to another level because I truly believe,
I hear it. Yeah.
because I truly believe that that's the case because I know as a kid one of my biggest frustrations and it's affected me to this day in terms of how I deal with just people in general is I never liked being I wanted to be in the discussion to some degree.
Yeah.
I wanted to be involved, and not that you can expect as a kid to be fully, an equal participant in the decision making, but at least to have like my thoughts be appreciated and listened to. Like my dad and I have gotten more fights than my mom and I had big fights, but my dad and I have gotten into more little pissy fights over the years because he is the king of he's going to tell you a way. And if you have an opinion that's differs in him, and you're not even saying he's got a shitty opinion, you just got a different opinion.
Yeah.
He takes serious offense to the fact
That
that
you have a
you didn't
different
just
opinion.
immediately
Agree.
go with this thing. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
He's like, come on!
Yeah, he does, dude. He takes it.
Let me feel like I'm
personally.
smart one time, man.
I'm like, but what if my idea is better? And I'm personally, I like to think I'm always open to everyone's ideas because I want to do with whatever's best. Now, typically, I'm not going to lie, I think my idea is best, and this is a problem sometimes. But
Yeah.
I'm one.
You're a little biased with
I'm always a little biased towards my own idea, but I like to try to be open-minded. And so, as a kid, my biggest issues with my parents is that they never had me be a participant in the decision ever. It was their choice. And even if I'm like, I got a really fucking good idea, I know I'm like 9,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean I can't have good ideas.
Yeah.
And that drove me nuts. And it would make me purposefully want to be conflict with them on things because I'm like, well, you just want me to do this? You don't want to? I'm like, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight with you then.
Yeah, because the kids ain't that stupid. They're can
not.
see through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And they know when they're being fucking jerked around.
Yeah, and they know the ultimate, like, because I said so, and I'm sure I'll end up saying that
That's why
someday.
the key is just authenticity.
Yeah.
You just got to be real. Don't, especially if your kid's fucking like 13 years old. I mean, just be real with the motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if you're legitimately smarter than your kid, which you should be, sometimes I've met some 13-year-olds who I think are smarter than their parents, by the way. I've met that person.
but I think that's just your view
Maybe
of
not
their parents.
wiser.
Because if their parents are just fat and just sitting there on their iPad going with the fucking, mac and cheese TV dinner thing in front of them, you judge them hardcore and be like, look at this stupid fat idiot.
Yeah,
You
that's
do
true.
that.
That's true, dude.
So-
I was driving back from my job today, and I was driving down this road, and I left this lady at the house. I was in a good mood. I'm like, dude, do my podcast, and I watched this lady walk out of her house, and she looked like the letter N. That's how hunched over she was, and she was balding, and then she looked up with me like from like a side glance, and I was like, yeesh! I audibly did it, and because she was very scary. And I was
Did you
like,
immediately think about fucking her and what that would be like?
Oh God, no. No.
Does that ever happen though? Where
No.
you just like for some reason your brain's like, and you're like, why? Why are you doing that?
I know I can't because I could physically feel my penis like shriveling, like
Yeah.
mushing into like
Yeah.
a little mushy ball. Yeah,
But there's just something about reveling in something that's absolutely horrible and disgusting.
yeah, but you know what? I would
Just be like, I'm in it, man. I'm in it.
I think I would rather have.
Go ahead.
I shouldn't even go here.
Should it be the broken glass in the asshole?
No.
Or the cheese grater
I
to
think
the
I'd
dick?
rather- and Jamie
or
says I'm
would it be
shallow.
drinking your dad's sperm or your mom's period blood? Pick one.
Wait, all right, no. I think I'd rather have a really hot person shit on my face than to have sex with a really fat, ugly person.
Just raw dog shit. No fucking cellophane. No
Just
nothing.
shit right on my face
With
versus
your
sex
mouth
with a fat, ugly person.
open.
No, again, this is my thing. No, this is my thing.
No, that's
And I'm not even
bro.
putting this forward to you. This
Just
is
let me
own
close my
question
eyes.
myself.
Just let me close my eyes and just say, with my mouth open.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah, say it.
With my mouth open.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
You should talk about this more.
No, there's nowhere else to go with it. And Jamie says it was shallow. And I'm like, well, because, guys, and yeah, I'm going to just bring the
Can
whole
you make
guy
a
team
Can
and
you
put
make a
them-
noise like you have a mouthful
we're
of shit?
We're past that. But yeah, I'm a little shallow, but like I can't help it. First off, I don't want to go any farther with this, Kyle. I want
That's
to change
okay.
subjects.
That's okay. That's okay,
I don't even
man.
know where we were talking about. I feel blind right now.
See, that's what happens, dude. You start talking about that type of shit, it just trumps everything.
Yeah, they should go blind.
I said it. Ah!
They should go blind, dude.
Oh man. Yeah, man. So, what else is happening in the world?
Well, I'm going to watch a Dodgers game this evening.
Sports ball.
Yeah. And you just don't care about sports.
No, tell me. You know, a lot of the 11 people fucking love sports. So this is the sports section of the podcast.
All right, well,
Ryan, go ahead.
do you want me to make an argument for why sports are awesome and why you should watch sports?
Yeah, I want to hear that shit.
I don't have this planned clearly, by the way.
Okay, wing it. Wing and Roth it.
All right. I think that sports is truly, other than maybe the day of the election, is one of the only truly unscripted television events that you can ever watch. Ever truly watch.
Ultimate reality
It
TV.
is the ultimate reality TV with consequences, depending on the sport. Football has real physical, painful consequences where people can be paralyzed. Like, there's high risk. There's people that are engaging in something that the average human being can't even
Desperate
dream
Housewives of
doing.
Milwaukee on steroids.
Basically, yeah.
Literally.
You're
Literally.
doing shit, and like, even if you're not a fan of a team. So the reason something like football has become so popular isn't because people are gigantic fans of their teams, it's because people gamble. So we talked about this on the way up to the trip.
Yeah.
It's that people have an investment in just the game itself.
Which makes the game 1,000% more
it
interesting.
does for the non-fan. Like,
me.
I don't give nearly as many shits about a game unless it's like a really close game,
Yeah.
and then I just end up getting into it as the game goes on. But like, the only games that I get into,
But
as I'm watching it-
there's a caveat to that, and that is you have to. I think you kind of have to know how the game works, unless it's like racing. I think it's obvious if somebody wins the race. But it's just like when I sit there and watch people play with craps. I'm like, if I'm watching on TV,
God,
I don't
yeah.
know if somebody's winning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see dice being like I have no clue what the game is.
Yeah.
So it's not really fun, I guess, to bet on something I just don't know.
That's a
anything
really
about.
good point. So it's my whole feeling on the Olympics. The reason that certain events are more interesting to me than other events, the events that I love, are the ones that when I watch, I'm like, I could never, ever do anything that looks anything like that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, where if I watch a swimming event,
Yeah.
I can swim. Right? I can go to
Yeah.
the end. Now, you can't see how slow I'm swimming. If you just put me in a pool by myself, maybe it looks a little Olympian, right? Just by myself.
Jesus.
You put a fake
Looks a
timer up
little
there.
Olympian.
No, you put a
This
fake,
guy over here.
Put a fake timer up there and make it look like I'm going fast, right? By myself.
Yeah. Speed it up a
Whereas,
little bit.
like, you put me by myself in the middle of a gymnastics mat and ask me to do a backflip, I
You're
will
not doing
fucking
it.
die.
Not gonna do it.
So there's certain events, certain things, high jump, that kind of shit, triple jump. Is even sprinting is actually kind of similar to the swimming, but like, it's just.
But you
still,
see,
they're
I think
very
that's
impressive
why
people.
the Olympics is so appealing to people that don't like sports, because all the events are pretty fucking simple. It's like who's jumping the furthest, who's winning the race,
that's a really good
who
point.
got down the hill the fastest.
Yeah.
It's simple.
No, that's
you
a
know
good
what I
point.
mean?
That's a good point.
As opposed to say, the ins and outs of football and the different plays and the
No, it's a good point. It's hard to appreciate the difficulty of it unless you've engaged in it in some degree.
Yeah.
And so you know how hard it is. Like golf, who watches golf? It's like, well, if you go play golf and you're like, wow, these guys are
watching
absolutely
golf.
incredible.
You just see some guy just go. You don't ever see the
But
ball.
if you go out and play golf and you realize how bloody hard it is, or like baseball, you realize it's like, if you ever gone into a batting cage and had them throw the 80-mile-an-hour pitches, it's like your life flashes before your eyes.
And
then
by
you
the
hear
way,
that ball
folks,
hit the mat behind
golf's the fucking shit.
you. Golf's great.
I just want to say, all you fucking potheads just sitting inside, I know you're just like, fuck golf, man. I ain't fucking do it. No, golf's the shit.
That's
Get
the
high,
pothead's game,
play
dude,
golf.
yes.
You're outside. You know,
Dude, we would
you get to
go-
drive a little go-kart around. Like,
Yeah,
what
dude.
the fuck?
We went and you golf and you drink.
You hit
and
stuff
you
with,
smoke.
you hit balls with sticks. And you get to get high and
Yeah.
drive go-karts.
There's like I can't think of any other sport other than like frisbee golf,
Yeah.
which even that seems a little too.
Frisbee golf's fucking. Are you okay?
I almost had a heart attack. No, I think we're okay.
What the fuck is
I was
this?
thinking really hard and I almost pooped myself.
Jesus Christ. I've never seen anything like that. I thought you fucking had a stroke or something. I was like, fucking eyeballs are going to pop out of your head, dude. Jesus, man.
It is. It's been on the brink for a little while here.
Dude, I don't know, man. You're getting weirder as you get older. You know that, right? Get a
Yeah.
little weirder.
Yeah. Am I? No. Ask my friends what I was like when I was like 13, 14.
Okay.
Not
I
safe.
think we're making an arc, though. I think we're going back a little bit into
Oh my
13.
god, that's possible. Well, isn't that what growing up is like? It's like when you're an old person, you're basically just like a big saggy baby.
Yeah.
You know, you just revert back to diapers. So maybe I'm reverting back to like my idiocy and my 13-year-old.
I think that's your view of it. You look at all these old people, you're like, oh, look at all these retarded babies. Sorry for the R word. Shouldn't have said the R word. But yeah. All these touch babies.
all these other cheese.
But we were like that
crackers.
too when we were doing like the old folks home, you know, we're just like, ugh.
Well, because these old people, it's honestly it's very sad. As
It is. It's fucking depressing.
because they just
And you go
realize-
in there and they just want to talk to you and they're like,
Yeah.
my husband died 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't had my TV for 2 weeks. And it just reminds me of Jim, and I loved him so much.
Yeah, all they have is their TV, and the little money they have left goes towards.
But like I said,
frozen
I
meals.
love getting these old ladies' TVs to work, man, because it just makes me feel like I fucking made a difference.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know?
not only that, but their expectations for everything is super low.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Like I said,
then
setting
they-
up
and if it
old
doesn't-
ladies' Alexas, it fucking, to see their eyes light up when I be like, set it up to their phone and be like, call Ethel. And be like, bring, Ethel. Be like, I called you on my Amazon speaker. And this gentleman right here, he helped me out. He's such a nice young man. And he's very attractive, too.
Always very attractive. Always very attractive. Yeah, but again, and if there's anything not working, they assume it's their fault. Too old people.
Yeah, because
Most
it
of the time
usually
it
is,
is their
especially
fault.
because, it's technology.
Yeah.
They have
Dude, Brandon, remember Brandon, one of his first jobs, when he went out on a job, he went back and forth to this lady's house a bunch of times, and she was bitching that her phone wasn't working. And he got there, and she'd been trying to dial on the remote control for like 3 days.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. Hopefully maybe she was just blind, you know?
I guess, yeah. Hopefully she's blind.
But no. She probably has. She's like, there's aliens that live in my attic.
You know what? I don't know if I ever met that.
You see Demi Lovato's crazy bitch ass, bro?
No. What's she thinking?
She
She
was
conspiracy theory?
No, she was
girl?
like saying something like, yeah, I don't know. She's like, all aliens are fucking, cisgender. I don't know what the fuck. Something along those lines. But just, saying just crazy shit.
I think, again,
they're so sure what the aliens are doing.
We need to let the celebrities take a step back from the public. We do this. Not me and you.
Let
Truly,
me
like,
tell
I'm
you,
not-
though, this is content. And it's funny, kind of.
No, I hear you. But I'm saying, like, the celebrities, I think they think that we... Actually, no, I take that back. I say this from my perspective, that I think that they think that we give more shits about them than we do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who give a whole lot of shits. There are magazines, like a dozen magazines, whose entire existence is around following celebrities. Like, there are industries around
Yeah.
telling you what the celebrities are doing. On a
People
daily
make
basis.
millions of dollars
Yeah.
just being a celebrity of they're not making any content other than just
being a celebrity.
fucking I'm a celebrity. Be like,
Yeah.
what'd you do? Be like, just
And so
celebrity.
why would they not think
Take pictures.
that their point of view is incredibly important? Because they're like, well, shit, I'm on this show and everybody loves me. And
Yeah.
all these people have jobs.
They surround
because of me.
themselves with people that fucking just be like, yeah, that was great. You're the best. It doesn't matter what the fuck they
That's
do.
poison, dude. That's brain poison right there.
It is
straight
brain
up.
poison,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not going to say that I'm above that. I'm sure if I was in that world, I would be so fucking full of myself.
That's why I think like these people if they're just becoming a celebrity, I think it's good for some of them to have they have life coaches and shit. People to help them navigate this. and it's like, hey, you got to surround yourself with real people as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try
I mean,
to,
but
but
dude,
it's hard to read people.
How
you
many
know?
industries have entire shows? Well, I mean, it wouldn't be as interesting because you don't know who these other people are, like accountants and shit. But how many industries have where there's an entire series about failed, child actors who fell off the map and became degenerates and drug addicts and all these horrible people and killed themselves.
It's like a goddamn thing.
Because it's like going. I mean, it's almost just like a miracle if you're a child celebrity who can make it out the other end. They all hit some sort of snag. Drew Barrymore, child actor, star, shit hit the fan for a little while, recovered.
I got a kind of like a comparison to make. So it's just like you work in the restaurant business. You work in the restaurant business long enough and work at bars and shit. It's like you're bound to do some cocaine, do drugs, and hang out. These people are immersed in this atmosphere. And I don't know, everybody I've met that works in the film industry is on drugs, fucking crazy, out of their got a shit ton of money to buy drugs. And then you're telling me all these people are around these, 12-year-old little kids. It's not surprising to me.
No, I don't find it surprising at all.
It's that environment. So it's like you have to have, if your kid's going to be a child star, I think as a parent, you got to work real hard to have that separation and boundaries.
You know what, though? I only really know one family who I've heard of others, but I know of one family, and I think this is relatively common. You've heard about this. They're like stage moms. They're like the kid who wants to be the star. What's the one where they dress the girls up like really weirdly sexual, and they have them go on the pamper shows?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, like the pageants.
The pageants. The pageant moms. They have a whole show about it's really about the pageant moms, not the girls, because they're crazy, right? And so one of my good friends...
It's so hard to watch, and these like little 12-year-old girls...
Dude, they're sexualized. It's creepy as hell.
It is creepy.
Yeah, and the moms put them in this position. Wanna know why? Because the moms, their identity becomes their kids. So one of my very good friends,
live vicariously through their fucking
her
little
younger
10-year-old.
sister was going to be a star, right? Since she was a little kid, was going into acting. Like, I don't know if she ever got anything, but she got a bunch of plays.
Yeah.
Big at like in her high school doing stuff.
They're trying to do the Tiger Woods effect.
Yeah, and it was pretty clear. Like the mom, like her identity, her job became being her supporter and just rallying her cause. And there's some good to that, right? Being super supportive of your kid. But it got to I think it becomes where your obsession with them succeeding becomes more of a priority than their safety, and so that probably happens a lot with parents who are like, my kid's made it, he's in, just take him.
The Michael Jackson documentary.
Yeah.
You see that shit?
No.
You did the Finding Neverland, those two kids. So it was like this kid in Australia, and basically, he's a Michael Jackson impersonator. So he meets Michael Jackson in Australia. But then his parents let him just like go by himself and shit. And then their parents are going on these trips around the world with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And they're loving it. And they said that they knew there was some weird something weird was going on.
Fuck those people.
Fuck
Seriously.
those people. Yeah.
Seriously, but I guarantee you that's not uncommon. Because when you suddenly become, not that you're important, but if your identity becomes your kids. And dude, this isn't just in being a celebrity. My little brother grew up as he was a star football player, like as a kid, right? As a kid and in high school. It kind of ended at that point, but he was a star. And so I was around, and his football team was full of studs, right? Yeah. And so I got to see these parents, and there's a lot of them from football through his baseball teams, and then their kids, they believed, all of them, to some degree, that their kid was going to be a stud, make it to the NFL, the major leagues. Their identity became their kids. They became psychopaths on the sidelines, in the bleachers, where it was like super uncomfortable for me, who would just be a bystander. Be like, oh my god, dude!
Because they've invested so much of their self into it, and they probably have these like visions of grandeur.
Absolutely,
and they're just thinking like, oh, we're gonna get you in the bed. And the thing is they're complete control freaks.
Yeah,
because every adult just thinks it's like, no, I know the little secret back door.
Yeah.
I watched these YouTube videos, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was the backup quarterback in high school. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, some shit like that, And they're investing all their time. I think it's good.
I think they also would lose some of themselves if their kid doesn't make it because they've been the hype train. It's almost like being a hype train for a rapper, and then they just never go anywhere. You're like, What am I doing? I'm
And
not
I think
hyping a nobody.
That's why you have that like stereotypical. It's like, oh, there was a football star. Now he's like the fat fucking drunk in town, right?
Dude.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, it's like because it's just it doesn't set you up. It's just complete fucking bullshit. You know, you're a complete star, and then you have this feeling like you're something, and that people should just be privileged to have you.
Yeah.
And then you find out the world's not like that.
Well, that's just it. Again, these parents, like, their kids' shit don't stink. And if their kids did not succeed, it was 100% a game, dude. Or like something was someone was out to get them, or they didn't get a fair shot. They were really better than all those kids. It's like, nah. You know how many people actually make the pros? Like almost nobody. I mean, it's like the least likely thing of you, other than being like an astronaut. That's in the present.
It's like I'm being a rock star type thing.
Yeah, sure. And so like, I don't know. For me,
Not even to that level, because it's like all you can do is get into NFL. What are you gonna? Isn't there the XFL? Wasn't there like a smaller field or
yeah,
something?
I think it
with
went out of business
walls
and
or
it
something?
opened back up or something like that.
But I mean, that's your only fucking choice to really make money, you know?
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. At least with music, at least with music, I could do this for a hobby. Maybe I can't have a football game in my room every day.
No, it's true. No, they call it semi-pro football. It does. You make zero money. I mean, you just go
Zero?
and play zero. But so I'm like, it shouldn't be called semi-pro. It's just called
we don't.
guys
it's like,
playing football.
We don't get like a couple dollars at the door. Or anything like that.
$0. Yeah, it's travesty. But
That's sad.
yeah, no. So I think it's healthy as a parent. Again, coming from people who have no idea how to parent.
Yeah.
But just from my
No
experience
fucking
and
clue
what
what
I've
we're talking
seen, from what I've seen, is like, don't put all your eggs in your kids to be an athlete basket. You know, like thank God my little brother had a 4.0 all through high school. You know, got him into football plus his grades, got him into a really good school, and it set him up for life, and he's in a great position. But if he was all school or all football and kind of half-assed in his school, he would never have made it into this school, and who knows where the hell he'd be right now in terms of he'd probably still be okay, right? But like, it's all again not all your eggs in one basket. Push your kids towards sports. I think it's a wonderful thing being in team sports, even though I hated it as a kid.
Really?
I did. I never liked being in team groups. I
You know
liked
what's
to
so
do my own
surprising
thing.
about you're such an athletic person, but just so you know, the 11, or if you haven't noticed, Ryan can't throw a football to save his fucking life.
That's not true. The 11
It's
knows.
so
I can throw-
true. You fucking throw a wobbly ass football every fucking time.
No,
I've seen
I
you
can
throw.
I can throw football farther than anyone in my group.
Okay, just because you can throw it further and just wildly anywhere doesn't.
That is, I'm not going to argue with that. That might be true.
I can't believe you can't throw a fucking good spiral, man.
I can throw a good spiral. You saw me throw one pass at the boys trip.
Just so you
One.
know, I don't believe it, folks. And if one of you guys can produce a video,
Yeah, any of the 11, we do have a Facebook page and Instagram page. Please feel free to leave a comment and on your impression of my football throwing skills. And by the way, a baseball, I can throw a baseball really fucking hard and far, and I have no idea where it's going.
somebody told me that.
It's very true. I
Yeah.
have no idea where it's going,
Yeah.
but it'll go really far.
You know what though? You put in all the effort.
I did. I just, again, all my eggs in one basket. I put it into the power category, 0 into the accuracy category.
Whatever, man.
Made pitching a
It's like,
real
just so you know, I'm
interesting
gonna
thing.
hurt one of you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Didn't you do that? Oh, I think
was
you were
pitching.
at bat, or was it pitching?
Pitching. I would hit at least one kid a game. At least one kid a game. And then, yeah, I pitched.
It's like, are you aiming for me? But like, what
No,
you're doing?
I threw wild, dude, because I would kick my knee up to my chin when I'd pitch. So if you ever watch baseball,
Do you
the
suck
pitcher-
at basketball?
No, but I'm an effort player. So I don't know. That's kind of a yes. But I can.
Do you make a lot of shots in the hole?
I rebound my misses, and eventually I get the basket into the. This is a complicated question, Carl.
I think I'm figuring something
It's not
out.
black and white.
You're just not accurate. With
No,
shit.
I'm not accurate. I'm an effort person.
Yeah.
I can.
Have you had your like eyesight checked or something? You got bad
Yeah,
eyes.
it's not great.
That's what happens when you get old.
It's not great.
That's what happens when you're fucking 36 years old.
Yeah, you're 36 years old.
I'm 37.
You're 37.
34 years.
No, I'm 31.
I know you're 31. You're 31.
Yeah. I'm turning 32 in 2 weeks. I think you were invited to my birthday thing, and you said, piss off. I don't care about Ryan. I want to go.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's...
Yeah, I did that. I'm working.
Yeah, that's a decent excuse, you know?
So that's why I'm not going. And and I told your lady, I text messaged
I appreciate that.
your lady friend, soon to be future esposa.
Yeah, the wing and rock.
How do you feel about that?
No, I'm kidding. It's gonna be great.
Better hope she doesn't get this far into it.
She probably won't because she hasn't even finished the last podcast. I get it because she says that if she's with me all day, she finds it very uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable, but she's like, well, I've been with you all day in the times I'm not with you. But then she says how much she misses me. Perfect opportunity.
Yeah,
she
whenever you
says-
listen to me, you can listen to me on your speakers in your car.
At least I'm talking to another person. Before, I was just blabbering myself. Blah, 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 blah. At least I have you here.
We still are.
We are. But there's two of us. Is two better?
And Captain
Captain
Skipper.
Hey,
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Captain Skipper. Love you.
Jesus.
Sorry, you sleeping.
He's
He's like, asshole.
like, I was having an anxiety attack. Fucking dog. Calm down.
Oh my god, just relax, buddy.
Just take it easy.
After we just yell at him and wake him up. Will you relax?
I'm sorry. I can see why this dog's fucking all skittish, man.
Yeah.
Because you're all, I don't know if you're like that. Just, are you like it when you're by yourself? Do you just all of a sudden make loud noises and shit?
No, I do not.
Are you pretty quiet?
But it is funny, like, no, I'm pretty quiet. But if it's Jamie and me, like, it's funny. Like, we do like to give him anxiety because they're ridiculous.
you like to get him?
We
give him
do,
anxiety?
but it's his. But it's his. It's almost like I guess we're making fun of his anxiety by triggering it. We're like, if I will hug Jamie, he does not like it. He will run up and sprint up and jump and paw us really hard in the hips, and he'll start crying and barking at us if I start hugging her.
Yeah.
He's very jealous. Obviously, like if I'm at the bottom, at the bottom of the stairs, sometimes I'll say bye, Skipper, and I'll run up the stairs and he'll start screaming and crying. He'll think I'm leaving him. I don't know why I do that. That might be a problem. I should stop that.
I don't know. Yeah, there's something. Because
Kinda
your dog's biting people. And everybody gets fucking near you, the dog's like,
It's true. Look at his sploot though. Doggy sploot. Doggy sploots are cute, man.
Hey, nobody fucking cares about your dog, Sploot.
Dude, there's Instagrams about sploots, dude. People
Is
love
it
the
really?
sploot. Yeah.
What is it again?
That's a sploot when they just go put their
Oh,
legs
and their
straight
little
back.
butt with the butt and the tail right
yeah,
there?
but it's when their legs go straight back. That one's kind of corked in there, but like it's just
I can see why, because it's mad fucking cute.
yeah.
I love puppies, man. That's
by the
one
way-
thing. We both love dogs, man.
Oh yeah.
We should do a whole podcast about dogs.
No, because I'm gonna talk a lot of shit about dogs. I don't like all dogs. It's like babies. I don't like
What dog do you hate the most?
Probably boxers or oh no, those creepy little old lady dogs. They're like the big long ones. They're like the Afghans. You know where they got the long nose. They're literally called Afghans. They're the long,
yes.
They look
And
like
they're
old
fucking
ladies walking
huge.
around. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, those creep
And
me
they're
out.
fucking, I think they're aggressive, dude.
They're used to hunt in another country, and here they bring them to the dog parks and they let them run around the little dogs. I'm like, you don't think that their instincts are ever going to kick in?
I know, just be like, where's Fluffles?
Yeah.
Where did he go? That dog
Dude.
just went by and just went,
It's
like
so
a pterodactyl.
Funny. He does not. He used to like the dog park, sort of, kind of, but it was like every third time he'd have a good experience. The other times he would not enjoy it. We bring him to the beach all the time, and he fucking loves it. Runs, and he'll play with dogs. Something about the dog park. Maybe it's because it's confined. Maybe he doesn't like being baby put in a corner or whatever they say.
Yeah, it's like going to the yard when you're in prison.
Yeah.
That's what the dog park's like for the dog. At least the beach would be like, oh, it's pretty. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? You know that's what dogs do when they go to the beach. They're like, what the fuck?
A limitless world.
Why are we here all the time?
It's true.
I love that
He
shit.
loves it, dude. He loves it.
The dog park is just it is what you know it is. You walk in there, overwhelming fucking smell of urine,
Oh yeah.
which has got to be like discombobulating for the dog.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like fucking
that's
urine
You know
overload.
what? If that's a lot for us to deal with, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what they're dealing with
Yeah.
their fucking noses, having to smell
Yeah.
that much pee-pee.
All that
You know?
bite.
All that pee-pee. Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
drink this water right here,
That's a huge water.
dude. Don't disrespect my water, bro.
But yeah, and any dogs where I need hair. If it's just skin, it's not for me.
You know what? Just like skin dogs. Like, you know, the world's like ugliest dog competition. That one ugly ass like Chihuahua. It's just like dark skin on it, and then just like little plumes of like weird colored hair.
Yeah.
I think that thing's so cute, dude.
Oh my god.
And, like, there's a part of me that's like, I want to take care of it. I want to hold it, and I like. There's a part of me that wants to make it like.
I don't want to touch that.
I want to
dog.
make it feel special.
That's very sweet. I like that about you. That's a good quality.
I want to make it feel special.
Yeah.
Do you ever want to make things feel special?
Yeah, you know what? I don't normally kudos myself, and I'm not kudosing myself. I'm only doing this because you brought this shit up, Kyle.
Okay.
You fucking
Bro,
brought it
I
up.
won't fucking give you shit. Go ahead.
All right. I was just, I was walking Skipper with Jamie, and then there was this like, it was a kid. Might have been Kid Cop. Maybe it was Kid Cop. I don't know.
Kid Cop!
Yeah. We'll talk about. I'll tell the Kid Cop story real quick.
The lore of Kid Cop.
I'll tell the Kid Cop story real quick. So I had a motorcycle forever that I parked on the street near my place, and one day there was a note on my bike, and it said, "I love your bike, Kid Cop." Just Kid Cop. I was like, "Oh, that's cute." And then I come back another day, and there was a big ass like banner like taped to my bike. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was pissed. I went up to it, and it was a lost dog sign, and on it said, "There's a lost dog, Kid Cop." And I was like, "Holy shit!" So I wrote back to Kid Cop. I left it. I taped it and put it on my bike, and I was like, "Hey, Kid Cop, this is Captain Wings. I'm in search for the dog as well. All these things." And then I mentioned something about I hope you're doing well in school or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this is for like what, a couple months, right? So I'd go to my bike one day and there'd be a message. It'd be like, "I'm doing my push-ups every day. I'm doing good in school.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to meet you, Kid Cop." And I'm like, I'm not fucking meeting this kid. That is just not okay. So I never did, obviously. But I would write back. I'm like, "Hey, Kid Cop, maybe one day we can meet. But Captain Wings, I'm on my mission or whatever." And I'd make these little stories up.
Yeah.
And then one day I remember I bought like a kid's toy. I think it was a little police set.
Yeah.
And I put it in the holster or the saddlebag of my motorcycle, and I said, "Hey, I left you some supplies, Kid Cop. Captain Wings out, something like that."
Yeah.
And then that's the last I ever heard from Kid Cop. I'm assuming that kid.
Did Kid Cop get the supplies?
Yeah, they were gone. I'm assuming
Cool.
Kid Cop brought the presents back, and the parent, being maybe reasonably cynical, was like, "This motherfucker's trying to have sex with you. You can't talk to Captain Wings anymore." And it made me sad because I still have some of the notes in my room. It was very sweet. It was obviously very friendly, but I'm like, I'm not going to meet you. I can't.
Here's the thing.
I can't plan a hangout.
It's
Kid Cop.
funny. That's my immediate thought is that Kid Cop is with Kid Cop's parents.
Oh, when this is happening?
Yeah.
But it was written in little kid words. torn
Yeah,
on a
I'm
piece
sure
of
the kid
paper.
was writing it, but I'm sure. I mean, was the kid just kind of like wandering around the neighborhood?
No, but I did hear from a neighbor that they saw a kid, and it's a little girl who rides like a police tricycle, wearing her little police hat, rides around the neighborhood. And she saw my motorcycle.
That's
and
Kid Cop.
Yeah, and that was totally Kid Cop. And I'm like, that's the cutest thing ever. And I would have loved to have met Kid Cop. But I'm like, how do I write a note to a 5-year-old that makes it
I think you just keep writing notes
That's
and make
what I
it cute,
did,
and
and
then if you ever run into, be like, "Oh, hey, it's Captain
You know what's
Wings."
funny? When I'd go out to my motorcycle, I purposely would go out there and make sure I was dressed cool, just in case I ran into Kid Cop. So I would go out there wearing my big leather
Doesn't
vest.
that make your
I would
life
wear my
so much
jeans, I'd
fucking
tuck in a
better?
White shirt with my belt and
Look
my
at this
big
shit.
boots. Yeah, so I would do that just in case I ran into Kid Cop. And I never did, and it's probably better. So Kid Cop can always picture Captain Wings would happen to Captain Wings,
I think so.
But anyway, so today
Maybe Kid Cop finally saw you getting on the bike and was
Fuck.
like, "That's Captain Wings."
It's so possible. That's so sad. It's so possible.
Oh, there's so many possibilities.
But today, no,
Or
yes-
maybe Kid Cop's on fucking drugs right now. You don't know. That would be awful. It happens fast.
That's true. I mean, I'm pretty sure she could have been more based on the right handwriting.
you know those
was either,
opioids.
like special needs or 5. So one of the two.
You said you seen her, right?
No, I did not see her. The neighbors had seen her.
A
Because I
sighting.
had talked to one. I'm like, "Oh, this kid leaves notes on my bike." Kid Cop. Like, "Oh, there's this little girl who rides around." Yeah. But then there was,
You know, it would be weird. Just post like missing, girl signs around your neighborhood of like somebody else's kid in the neighborhood.
That's kind of weird. Well, I gotta find a picture of the kid, right?
I walk around and be like, what the fuck?
I should put a sign up one day that says,
Was stolen when it was a baby?
no, big thing is like, hey, Kid Cop, Captain Wings here, need assistance ASAP in finding a thing. And I'll hide the thing.
I
And
like
it'll be
that.
like a toy, right? I'll hide
That's
the toy.
super cute.
Missing toy, whatever, reward for something, left at this address.
Wait a second. I've heard about Kid Cop before. How long ago was this?
Kid Cop stopped messaging, writing little notes to me like, was that 2 years ago?
That's probably more than that. Was it pre-pandemic?
It was definitely pre-pandemic.
So that was at least 2
Oh,
years.
man, she's probably
2
too
years.
old now. She's probably like 6, 7.
6, 7. Kid Cop
Maybe she'd
was-
still be down, though. That sounds weird.
I really want to meet this little girl. She seems so cool. We just want to be friends.
Oh, God.
Yeah, by the time you meet her, you're going to be all fat and creepy looking.
I know.
I know you would never let that happen. I know you would fight that tooth and nail.
Oh, fat and creepy?
Yeah.
Creepy
Dude,
might
just
just
fat.
come, but I ain't going to
Just
get
fat.
It's not in
Right,
the blood,
I
dude.
ain't getting fat. It ain't in the blood. You can get fat quick.
I'd have to try to get fat, and I ain't
Yeah.
going to try.
If you become a real bad alcoholic or something like that, and, do some other.
It's in the family. It is sure in the family.
Hey, man, it can creep up on you, man. You could
I
be
guess.
in your 40s and be like, yeah, I'm going to go in fucking all in on the alcohol.
I'm like, I don't have a problem. James is like, you've been drinking a lot tonight. I'm like, Jamie, it's not a problem. Who are you? It's something like that.
He's got to let a little more life happen to you.
Yeah, just let some tragedy happen. Like my little brother crashes.
No, that's
into
not.
my-
Honestly, I was gonna go down a list of awful things. I'm like, why would I say that? It's awful. This is
It is
negative.
awful.
I don't want to put negative shit.
No, my
like,
family
I only
finds
wish
that
you
funny.
success and
Unless it
happiness
happens.
and zero fucking deaths.
Thank you. Same for
'Cause I
you,
fucking love
Kyle.
you, man.
Yeah, I love you too, dude.
Yeah, zero fucking deaths.
I gotta say, this is a very interesting. I liked our podcast today. I really did. I feel like we went all over the place. I don't know if any of it was actually very interesting, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I actually, I felt like it was pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Felt very calm. Like I said, I had anxiety, which is weird because this is my bedroom.
Yeah, and this is what, our fifth one? It's our fifth one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, you know what? Son of a bitch, we suck. This is the negative side of doing this at the end versus the beginning, because no one has made it this far. Everybody's already turned off our
Everybody's
podcast.
turned off. So
But
fuck y'all.
hey, if you're still there, that means you actually either like our podcast
Yeah.
or just friends
Means
with
you
us and just
actually
doing a
give
nice
a
thing.
shit about us and
Will
care
you
about us as
please, for the
people?
love of God, write a review on Apple Podcasts. That is huge. Helps the algorithms sending out
I don't
the
think.
information.
I think you have to pay more money to let people
No,
write
you do
reviews.
not. No, you do not.
Really? Okay.
Yes, we have reviews.
Yeah, write a fucking
Yeah,
review.
no, 5 stars if you would. Write a review.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Matt Brady.
Yeah.
If you're listening, motherfucker, you better fucking do
Yeah.
that shit, or else I'm gonna tell everybody what the fuck you do in jacuzzis.
You hear it, Brady, big baby. So leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you would so kindly, go on our Instagram and send us questions. Whatever weird-ass, creepy-ass questions will keep you anonymous, no matter how disgusting the would you rather question is.
Yeah.
We will have to answer it, or
Yeah.
you can direct a question to either one of us. Same thing on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. And if you don't want to do those things, that's okay. We'll just talk shit about you on
Yeah,
the podcast.
put just the weirdest shit that you've experienced.
Yeah.
The weirdest sexual shit, the shittiest shit.
Yeah.
The literal shittiest shit.
Or just bring up a horribly creepy subject, weird subject, interesting
Yeah.
subject, and
Interesting.
we will
Yeah,
have
we'll
to
take
talk
that.
about it on the next podcast, whatever it is. So I think it'd be fun.
Okay.
I actually had an idea
What?
that we would do one day, where we would present to people. We say, pick any occupation, okay? Hopefully, one that we can find a person we can get a hold of.
Okay.
And because we know a lot of people, right? I feel like I know a lot of different people. And then we will bring that person on and we will ask them all the questions that are never appropriate to ask, and we will allow that person to be anonymous. Like a surgeon. Have you ever gotten an erection while doing surgery on a woman? Is it possible? I think that's a reasonable question.
I think if you're getting that's you got some fucking shit.
But that's what I'm talking about.
But
We'll
who knows?
No, but like pilots, have you ever considered crashing the plane to the mountain on a bad day? I'm just saying, like the questions, and maybe they'll say no. How the fuck? Why would you ask that? But we will ask those questions.
That's the shit we
I
want.
think that'd be kind of fun, but we allow them to be anonymous.
Yes.
You know?
Has to be anonymous. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't. Obviously,
I don't
we're
think
asking. Have
anybody
you ever
find-
had an erection while you're doing surgery with your one surgery friend?
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I can't. I'll have to.
Surgery person.
Yeah,
Right. That's
I
what
know.
they call them.
Yeah, I was like, all my friends are like, we know the only pilot you know. We know the only surgeon you know.
And those are the only people listening to this shit.
I know.
But they ain't getting this far. You know, we can put the shit at the end. That way, you know, nobody's gonna listen, and you'll be super, super anonymous.
That's a good point.
We'll be like, we'll always do it at the end of the episode. Or you want to do a whole
No, I want to do a whole one.
thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
There's only one
a daycare
problem.
provider. Have
There's
you ever
only
slapped a baby?
there's only one problem with that. That means I have to invite more people into my house, and I don't know how I feel about
No, we do it on a phone call. I'm never going to get them here.
it. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Don't worry about that. This is our safe space. You know, a lot of people
Yeah.
trying to get in here.
Yeah.
For a lot of people to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I should be. I'm like,
And I got 2 words for you. Fuck off.
all right, well, till next week, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I love you, Ryan.
Love you.
Bye.